posted a video previously talking about why I was not very worried about the optimization issues regarding Wuthering Waves. Everyone that I know that has not had issues with Wuthering Waves has described a seamless, enjoyable experience, who have had almost no problems, and any problems they have had are absolutely expected for the release of a kind of game like this. It seems like, to me, the game either works or it doesn't. And my genuine opinion is that there is a certain amount of this that is being heavily exaggerated. There are people who are having severe optimization issues, 100%, and I am not trying to say that that is not true. But I feel that the number of people that this is happening to is significantly smaller than it seems. And I also do feel that the level to which these issues are happening are either exaggerated or made worse by the fact that people don't know how to work with their systems. The reality about Wuthering Waves is it is on Unreal Engine, which at base is harder on a system than Unity, which is what Genshin is on. And I'm again comparing them because they're the easiest comparisons. At base, Wuthering Waves is going to have higher requirements than a game like Genshin. I used to play Genshin on integrated graphics. Without a GPU, I used to play Genshin on a GPU that it just had a CPU, no graphic card, nothing, and it worked just fine. I've seen people who have done it on this game with no GPU, but it has obviously been in potato crunch Dorito quality, and it has not been a pleasant experience. You are not going to be able to run Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves the same way on the same system, just by nature of the engines that they are on. Genshin is on a custom version of Unity to be able to run the way that it runs. And even then, Genshin has, still to this day, horrendous bugginess. And anybody denying that is on copium or straight up lying. There is astroturfing going on. Astroturfing is a concept in which a developer or whoever will pay people or firms or groups of people to go on the internet and spread misinformation, lie, exaggerate, or make sure everybody knows all of the problems with something. People were going to Braxophone's stream and they were posting nice things about Genshin and then mean things about Wuthering Waves, and they were obviously bots. He had hundreds and hundreds of them. I've seen this happen to a friend of mine, Maddie True, on her Twitch stream as well, where there were bots being sent to say a nice thing about Genshin and a shitty thing about Wuthering Waves. I've seen it in people's YouTube comments from other content creators, and I have a high amount of suspicion that there is a bit of a campaign to spread anti-WooBot propaganda and make things seem more severe than they are. I'm not going to say that it's specifically Hoyoverse, but it is very clearly happening. And I actually think that the worst part about this astroturfing behavior is not the fact that they're doing it. It is the fact that there are many people on Twitter and everywhere else going around seeing straight up astroturfing and botting and misinformation and spreading it around mindlessly because they don't fact check and all they want to do is hate on the game and hate on the developer. I don't like Genshin. I've never been anything other than a Genshin hater as a content creator, and that's never gonna change. I don't like the game. I think it's full of predatory practices and half-ass measures, and people will settle for that, and you can still enjoy the game, and I'm not gonna like hate you for that. But I would not glaze this game regardless just because I don't like Genshin. But people will deadass not even try it and spread as much hate for Wuthering Waves as possible, and almost like it borders on like propaganda because of their weird obsession and tribalism with Genshin Impact. And it's absolutely like mind-blowing. And the reason that I refuse to go as hard on Kuro games out the gate, and I've had people be like, well, you're just glazing, blah, blah, blah. The reason that I'm not gonna go in on Wuthering Waves is because the game came out 3 fucking days ago. And they've been very clear, and they have worked very hard, and they put out constant hot fixes and patches to try to fix the issues. So I'm not going to have the same level of criticism that I would have for Genshin Impact, which has been out going on 4 years now, and still has glitchiness and bugginess that is far beyond where it should be in terms of polish 4 years later. And not to mention the amount that it is entirely ignored its fan base. They has rewarded us handsomely for having to deal with their technical issues and have very clearly been working their asses off to fix it. So no, I'm not going to keep the same level of criticism out the gate that I have for a game that's been out for 4 years, with a developer that is significantly more experienced, and anybody who thinks they should are off their fucking rocker. Should it have been optimized better? Absolutely. But the level to which this has been blown so far out of proportion, and people are touting it around as the proof that Wuthering Waves was never going to work, that it was never going to be a good game, is insane. When the fact is that the game, when it is on the right system, works amazingly. They are obviously working hard to fix it, and they have rewarded us handsomely. And I'd also like to point out, they did not give us a 5-star as compensation for the patches. I want to read this to you because this does show how much they are listening and how much they want to please the player base. After launch, we received much feedback across all platforms and channels regarding the beginner's choice convene. We are deeply sorry for the unsatisfactory experience the event has brought you. Therefore, we plan to issue a special item, a voucher of reciprocal tides, which grants a free chance to obtain 1 5-star standard resonator of your choice via in-game mail. So they're actually giving us that 5-star because of feedback regarding the beginner's choice convene, where you got to pick the specific 5-star you got from wishes. This is the developer we're working with. So no, I'm not gonna have the same fucking energy when Hoyoverse and Genshin Impact has been putting out dog shit and y'all have been slopping it up, and Kuro Games fucked up with optimization. I think it's vastly been over-exaggerated. The game does work. The optimizations are being worked on, and people who are having issues are now having not issues. They care, and I will stand by a company that cares. If it's 3 months down the line, if it's 6 months down the line, and there's still a significant amount of players who have systems that should work that don't, yeah, I'll start rallying the troops. I'll start bringing in everybody, and I'll start yelling and screaming and complaining and shaking my fist at Kuro Games. But when it is 3 days in and they have put in the amount of effort and given the amount of rewards for the issues they have had, I'm not gonna have that same crazy critical energy. I will keep it up for Genshin forever because they show how little they care about the player base. And there are so many people that are literally, I have no doubt about this, just spreading around the same dog shit line about it being like Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy was an inherently broken game that didn't work basically for anybody. It was able to be hacked severely. People were not able to play the game, but it was also an MMO. In no way is this equitable to Tower of Fantasy. I am very frustrated with the choice of the gacha community at large to over-exaggerate this and make it into the fucking apocalypse because they want to have this like weird tribalism dick-sucking shit for Hoyoverse when Hoyoverse doesn't give a fuck about you. Hoyoverse has had worse game-breaking bugs where people could delete shit from your game permanently. They didn't compensate you because they don't give a fuck. They just don't care. Kuro does. I care a lot about this game. I do. I care that we have a game that we can love together, and I care that people are in reality when they're talking about shit when they clearly don't understand it. It's not because I want to be sponsored. It's not because I'm a shill, because shills inherently are paid for the game. I am not paid for the game. I just like to play it, and it's a good game, and I think you should give it a try. In my heart, this is a 10 out of 10 game because I have so much hope that this game is going to turn out to be so much more than Genshin ever had a chance to be. The only reason I fucking can't stand Genshin is because at a certain point, I really cared about the game, and I really loved the game, and I spent a lot of time and a lot of money in that game, and it just never panned out to be anything. And already, Kuro Games has shown an incredible response to issues. They have shown an incredible concern for community feedback, and they have rewarded us handsomely for those who are having issues. If this scares you away from playing the game, you are getting filtered, stay away. But it's a good game. It's a better game than I've played in a while. I love it so much. And I think it is worth your time. It is worth your trust. They are innocent for me until proven guilty. The problem is that Genshin has been proven guilty for 4 years straight. And the fact that they are now trying to appease you with the most dog shit updates to endgame, and y'all are excited about it, is fucking pitiful. But if you are interested in me just Kuro doom posting 24/7, that is not what I am going to be doing. The fact is that people bitched about me being too negative, and then when I'm too positive, they call me a shill. Can we please just be in touch with reality about fucking video games? But that's it. That's all I have to say. The community response has been absolutely abysmal. It's a fucking great game. You should try the game. If you liked Genshin, you'll probably like this game, unless you can't see past it. I'm streaming daily, Wuthering Waves. I'm having a lovely time. We're learning a lot. I just got my first shiny. It was very, very poggers. I think that this game has a lot of potential, and I think that gamers who are not interested in gacha could get into this game. But please stop being so fucking brainless. Goodbye!